Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this episode of the Dan Dawson Show. So, we're going to go over a few topics today, but they're all going to come back into one. We are a nation of silly people raising silly kids, but there is one kid that gave me hope. The Ron DeSantis thing. Pretty sure you've seen it on the news where he said, hey, you can take off your mask if you want. And it was actually a very smart political move. What they were trying to set him up to do. And apparently AOC is still focused on him. I guarantee this was AOC plot. I'm joking. But he was doing a presser at USF, University of South Florida. I think it's South Florida, whatever. Anyway, and he told the kids, hey, you take off your mask if you want to, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to touch on it too much because YouTube will strike me. However, a couple of kids took it off. And even though I say we're a nation of silly people whose silly parents have raised them, let me show you something. This gave me a little bit of hope. Now, this is one of the kids who was actually there. Actually did an interview with his crazy ass mom. I feel bad for the kid afterwards, right? Now, I want you to watch what he says. I'm going to show you how he's more mature than his own mother.
More than 24 hours later, students in the middle of that viral moment tell me they're ready to move on.
Just in my eyes, it was just an ask and it wasn't nothing that big.
In Tampa.
Now, he actually did an interview with his mother. He's like, hey, he just asked me to. He didn't tell me to. It's really no big deal. It's really no big deal. And he's right. But moving on to the next time, I'm bringing all this back together. Watch me. I think I am. I could be wrong, hell. Let me show you another video from Texas. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So this is from the University of North Texas in Denton, Texas. This is Texas. Now, what came out, I read the news article on this, right, is this group of protesters who got everybody riled up don't even go to the school. They just showed up. Man, that Soros and BLM money must be good. Hell, at this point, I might join BLM. It looks like you can do it for a full-time job. Just going around yelling and screaming like you're crazy. You know, I don't think I could pull it off. I'm not that type of person. But I want you to watch this. Now, this is Texas State Representative candidate Jeff Younger. So if you don't know the story behind Jeff Younger, right? He had two twins with a obviously crazy woman. And so she's been attempting to turn one of the two twin boys. She's been attempting to turn one of the boys into a girl. I'm going to let you watch this video. Then I'll explain the situation because the situation is really crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, do you see what I'm getting at here? Now, Jeff Younger, I was telling you about he had two twin boys with a crazy woman who wants to turn one of the boys into a girl. Now, my theory is she always wanted a boy and a girl. She's an older lady and realizes her chances for having a kid are pretty much over. So now she's trying to medically turn one of the boys into a girl. He fought a custody battle for years, eventually lost custody of his kids. What kind of person in their right mind would do that? No, she's crazy, is what it is. But I wanted to show you that to show you this, right? All this stuff going on is because we have a weak society. I just wanted to show you that one. And keep in mind, like I said about the article that I read on CNN, is those people weren't even associated with the university, but they feel like they have a right to say it. Think about what kind of position they put our kids in when you're ruining a kid's life at 5, 6, medically transforming them into something you want. You have to be a psychopath because truly you don't care about your kids. One of the things I was thinking about and why this really kind of touched me is my mother always told me, honey, be whatever you want to be. Grow up to be whatever you want. And these are rich people problems. It's always the Jeff Younger's wife is a pediatrician. It's always the rich people. How many Dwayne Wade's kid, really? Going to get your kid transgender surgery at 11, 12, you have too much money. You never see truckers, farmers, ranchers, plumbers doing this because we don't have time to be psychopaths. We got to pay the bills next month. So if you're a rancher and those cows aren't taken care of and you're not getting them to the slaughterhouse, you're going to starve next month. You're going to be behind on bills. Not the rich people who have way too much money running around their Teslas. Did you notice the one guy spit at Jeff Younger on that video? Think about that. A man is saying something you don't like and you're going to spit at him. Back in my day, they get your teeth knocked down your throat. So when you are able to speak again, it'll be through false teeth. But see, they feel so entitled, right? Because they don't live a true life. They really don't. They're living off mom and daddy's money, grandpa's money. They say wealth lasts for 3 generations. The generation who created it, who worked hard and got up early in the morning, like I'm making this video. Actually, I was up at 4, did a couple of things around here, making this video at 5:57 in the morning. The generation that created it, the generation that watched them created it, and then it's lost in the 3rd generation who never had to work for it. I often tell this story. And this was actually not my story. It was told to me by one of my friends. He said he was in a bar. And one of the guys who was always in the bar, his grandparents made a lot of money. This was in Washington State. His grandparents made a lot of money. His parents, of course, his father saw how hard his father worked. So the money was taken care of because you know how precious it was. And he said he walked in the bar one day and the guy's sitting there crying. He went through millions of dollars. That's that 3rd generation effect. So when I first heard it said, I believed it. The reason I believed it is because I've seen it. I've seen it. When you see your mother or father get up before day in the morning, if they're doing their thing and they build something, you're not going to want to destroy it. Now, when you see your parents just inherit money, even though they've seen it and they take care of it, you have no need for it. And that's what we're seeing now. All these feckless little, supposed to be tough, and you notice they're only tough in a crowd, right? which is why the Proud Boys and all those guys travel in crowds. I don't blame them. I take a lot of people with me too. But that's what you're seeing. Could you imagine? They think it's okay for a 5-year-old to undergo life-changing surgery because their mother wants them to be a girl instead of a boy. That's actually kind of psychotic. Can you believe parents were out, and even CNN, complaining and crying that Ron DeSantis told kids wear a mask or don't? He gave them a choice. It wasn't a big deal. But see, this is how these psychotics think. If you don't think just like them, then you're not psychotic and they don't want you around them. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to do something about this. I keep talking about a peaceful divorce, which is not something I want. I'm thinking people are starting to think I want a peaceful divorce. I really don't. It's just these people are so far out of their mind. Or maybe I'm reading it wrong. Maybe it is just a few group of people or a small group of people that BLM and Soros are busting around the nation. Because in that CNN article, it definitely said, hold up, I'll pull it up for you. Hold up. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, this is a CNN article as promised. It's written by Carol Alvarado. Look at me. And Andy Rose. So it says Jeff Younger, Texas State House candidate fighting child gender affirming care, is shouted down at University of North Texas event. A candidate for the Texas House of Representatives who is campaigning against gender affirming treatments for children was shouted down by protesters while speaking at an event Wednesday, organized by a conservative campus group. Thank God we still got those in Texas. Social media videos show demonstrators banging on desks and chanting fascists as Republican candidate Jeff Younger mockingly claps and repeatedly misgenders protesters. Why are they always screaming fascist? You're the fascist. You're the one trying to get everybody to believe what you believe. Hey, look, I don't try to get anybody to believe what I want to believe. I don't. Most conservatives don't. Most independents don't. Hell, most Democrats don't. It's these far leftist lunatics that try to do that. The police believe a small group of protesters not affiliated with the university contributed to escalating the overall protest from peaceful to an aggressive encounter. University of North Texas President Neil Samtresk said in a written statement on Thursday, I'm going to go down here to the end to get Younger's reply. He replied, I want to thank you for showing the world what leftist politics really is, Younger said, as seen on a social media video. Quote, I won't back down from communist riot thugs, Younger said on his campaign Facebook page Thursday. Good for him. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the moral. We can't back down from these people. We're going to fight for our piece of land. We're done with this crap. If you want to be a leftist, go to New York, go to San Francisco, go to LA. Stay away from us. We don't want it. And if you're one of these people that just runs around and you're not like the kid in the first video who can think clearly, then go somewhere where that's welcomed. If you're going to ruin someplace, stay there. I had a friend on Facebook telling me, she's, thinking about moving to Texas. And it's like, oh, that's cool. Remember to vote red. I tell you, I don't know sometimes. But I just wanted to talk that out. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Have we come to the point of a peaceful divorce? And how do you even do that? How do you envision that? Or I was thinking about this while I was sitting outside this morning drinking my coffee. Because in Texas, in March, you better drink your coffee before the sun comes up because you're not drinking it after that if you're drinking hot coffee. Anyway, something occurred to me. Once these kids have to actually get out and get jobs, maybe this will solve a lot of this shit. All of them can't go into politics. Why do we just sit back and wait for them to actually have to get jobs and actually have to support themselves? Living on mom and daddy's dime. All right. Like, subscribe, share. And as always, especially in these days and times, keep your powder dry, and do what you got to do.